All right, this motor off the back of this truck using that lumber in there. I got a bunch of scrap lumber. We're gonna see what we can do. So let's start gathering our boards and go from there. We're gonna need one 2x4x8, one 2x6x8, one 2x8x1, some deck screws, which I have. I had some 2.5-inch deck screws. The plans I found called for some 3-inch, but we're going to see how these 2-inch and 2.5-inch will do. You need about 12 of those. A 3/8 nut, need 2 of those. I'm using a 3/8 wing nut for the other 2, and you'll see how that comes out at the end. And some fender washers. All right, let's get this started. All right, first things first, let's gather up the lumber we need. I'm going to need some 2x6s that are going to end up being about 37.5 inches long. Actually have a full length 2x6 previous project. Oh, but it never got used. So I know it's got more than enough. So we'll go ahead and get that out of the truck. Get it down over here. Next, we need some 2x4s. We're going to have some 2x4s. We're going to do one at 20 inches. So let's see if we can find one that's at least 20 inches. Got a lot of nails in that one. All right, this one's 20 inches. This thrown out here. All right, so we got one that we can make. 20. I got a little cheat sheet here, a little cheat board actually. I need a 2x8 that's 20 inches. It's got these. These used to be actually. These used to be part of a little loading ramp set up. It's pretty nice little things in a paint. Anyway, I got two of these boards left, and I think I can get all my cuts out of one of them. Yeah, I only need 20 inches, so we're gonna get the legs over to the track. Now we're gonna need some stuff to make the back legs, and the back legs look like they're just made out of 2x4. So we're gonna need two 2x4s that are at least 36 inches in length. Let's see what we can find in this. Some nice 2x4s. I think I'm trying to get some of these shorter ones that we laying around here. I don't really want to use those pink ones. Actually, these don't look too bad. These are 36 inches out. I'll probably get both of them out one over the honest with them. All right, I'll get these over here to the truck. I think that's all we're going to need as far as lumber. 2x4x14 times 2. Okay, so I might need one. I'm not going to make that what I have, but we're more board just in case. This is nice. We're going to go ahead and grab this one here because we're going to need another one that 2x4x14 inches. And I'll leave a. Actually, what I'll do is at the end of this, I'll zoom in on this board. I have my little cheat sheet board, and if I can, I'll leave a link to some plans that closely resemble what I'm making because I basically copied this off a guy off YouTube. I had some ideas of what I was going to make just using this, but when I was kind of just fleshing out my idea, I kind of like the way this guy's turned out. It's not going to have wheels on it, but when you're not using it, it collapses up flat, and it's real cheap. He built this thing for under $20, buying all new lumber, and I'm building it out of some scrap wood I have in the back of the truck. So that shows how cheap I am. If I didn't even want to spend the $20 on fresh lumber, but anyway, just kind of showing you what you can do in a bind. I'm gonna try to set this old Johnson on there so I can fix and flip it later on, probably in a later video, but whenever it's closer to boating season. First thing I'm going to do is take this 2x8 and cut it 20 inches. It's going to end up being like a support for the or my leg. Got a lot of rotten stuff on this board, so I'm cut it where it's fresh. Yeah, I'm not really worth it. Now judge me if you want. It'd be good. Now we'll do an ash fresh 20-inch cut. Here, done it. Is right now I don't have a little square to have it probably like getting it. But in the past, I just used a tape measure and kind of lined it up. And then when I went to make my cut, I forgot to move my tape measure and cut my tape measure. Don't do that. That's not great. 2x8 board. Remember, measure one, cut twice. That's 20 shooter. All right, we got it. First piece done. All right, now I need to cut a 2x4, 20 inches as well for support. I want to grab my little square thing. Necessary for these little cuts. But kind of borrowed the saw from my brother-in-law, so My wife's trying to leave as many little wood projects done as we can, and when we don't do wood projects, it's kind of a comedy, to be quite honest with you. You hear us bickering back and forth whenever we're doing together. It's all good fun. Now it looks like I need to cut two 2x4s, 14 inches. I think I can get out of this somewhere. I can notice. This one. Look at that. I get it all out of that one piece of scrap. 14 inches. Throw this in the scrap bin. That scrap bin will end up back in the pickup truck. Just end off as well. It's kind of ugly. Now we're gonna see if we can get good 36 inch. Yeah, this will work out pretty good.
You have it in piping. They took with more from these.
Remember, just sink straight.
From the farm.
Got screws and stuff in here, so I just put my good file here. I started getting it confused with my scrap file. Now we're going to be that with the 2x6. No, 2x6 is actually going to be a little bit longer so it can nest in there a little bit. So let's go ahead and get this set back there at 15 degrees. Shouldn't have taken off my thing. Here. And my kids called over there, so I try not to fill out. You shit my saw.
فهمت بفتشو خلينا بس كانت فاينة أسئلة يعني.
All right, this is going to be 37 and a half inches. And forget to turn saw back to 90 degrees. So that's right. I think we got it. We're going to build this on my custom workbench down here. On the bottom legs, or top leg, or front legs, and the legs. It's going to go down here as a support, and this is going to go up here as a support, like that. There's kind of squared up a little. I'm going to lower that down. You know, put 2 screws there on each side, and do the same thing right there. All right, now we're going to get the bottom legs going. So if you're wondering why you needed 2 of these, I don't think you do. I can't remember stuff. These screws I got are supposed to be where you don't have to use any pilot drills. All right, let's see how this kind of pans together. Okay, so now we're gonna disassemble this and try to do it right this time. Put this on the outside, maybe. Yeah, like this. Yeah, we're gonna try it that way. All right, now we'll try test fitting this thing again. Go in there like that. This, fit in there like that. That's much better. All right, we'll go with that. Make sure y'all can see that. I'm gonna get this out kind of how I like it, and just kind of put a deck screw in here just to hold it temporarily. So I put some legitimate screws in there and kind of be able to test it out. It's kind of the gist of it, but we're gonna take it one step further and put some fasteners in there to lock it in from the sides. All right, let's see if we can get this old motor off my truck bed and onto the stand. And look at that, worked out like a champ. So we were able to take this whole bed full of scrap lumber, and that lumber over there is going to be going right back in that scrap bin and turn it into a nice little boat motor stand. So if you like this, like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you got any tips or tricks or anything. And I'll leave a link to the gentleman's page where I kind of got this idea from. And I think he has some prints you can download for free. Or at least download. I don't know if they're free or not. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate y'all.